Has this happened to anyone else? My dog's treat duplicated itself. I let my dog outside to go to the bathroom. Before we left my room, he picked up a treat from the floor, and the floor was empty when we left. He took the treat with him outside. But when I came back into my room while he was still outside, I looked at the spot where he picked up the treat, and there was the same treat there again. I live alone, so I have no idea how it got there, and I'm freaked out. Heard of similar stories here recently. Reality is shifting. Probably. I wish I knew. Just seems like maybe there's been a shift in timelines, i.e. the Mandela effect. Considering how little we know about space and time or the reality of quantum entanglement, etc., the increase in these types of stories can really only make sense, IMO, if maybe somehow the timeline she was in somehow shifted and was reverted back 5 minutes. But maybe just somehow only affecting the dog treat and nothing else. Like if there was no other treat there. How'd that one get there? Was it identical to the first, and was there none others taken from the container? I've had it happen where my cell phone randomly appeared on a girl's lap 5 feet away from me right in front of our eyes. I wish I'd been paying attention. Maybe it was some entity who put it there without anyone noticing. Seems very similar to OP's situation. All we can do is just speculate. Why are you complaining about a free dog treat? Your dog wanted another one so badly, he willed it into existence. It happens like all the time. LOL. You might have thought he took it when he actually didn't. Or realities split and you noticed. Either way, there's not much you can do about it except just accepting that weird shit happens. Sometimes I looked at his mouth right before I opened the backyard door, and it was in his mouth. Parents say they'll always be there for you, so you should know it's not weird for our family to go on holiday with family friend. When I was a teenager, my mom got close to a colleague, friendship-wise, that I didn't really like. He never did anything suspect. He was just trying too hard to be cool and funny to teenager me. When my parents asked if him and his wife could go with us on holiday, I said I wasn't comfortable with it, and that I didn't really like him. My mom didn't listen. We all came to the holiday and everything was fine. Later in life, with my family, we were talking about a movie on child sexual assault, and how family often didn't listen to the children. My mother said that if something ever happened, we just had to talk to her, that she would always be there for us. I hesitated, but decided to tell her that it's just not true. While I didn't tell her I was assaulted or molested, I clearly told her I was uncomfortable with an adult man, and she just didn't care. And that at that time, there could have been more serious reasons I wasn't comfortable with him, but they didn't take me seriously. She actually seemed shocked that I did actually once told her I was uncomfortable with an adult, and that she didn't take it seriously. My mom has told herself that she was a great parent, and my childhood was great so many times she has believed it all. She was shocked that I reminded her of a time I was like 8, and we were on vacation, and she brought out the wooden spoon she used to hit us. Yes, she brought her whipping tool with us on vacation. My abusive mother doesn't remember some pretty awful stuff too. Even the abuse she suffered from my father. When I ask her what happened, my memory is bad. I don't remember, is all I ever get.
Letters from the sewer. I work in the city sewers. People don't think about what happens down here. They flush and imagine everything just disappears. But I know the truth. One day, I found a crumpled page between 2 pipes. Dear Dad, I know you'll never read this, but I'm tired of waiting for you to come back. Someone wrote it and then flushed it away. A shiver crawled up my spine. The next day, I found another one. And another. It seemed like someone kept writing these letters and flushing them down, as if trying to erase their feelings. But I read every word. I saw you yesterday. You walked past me. I wanted to shout, but you didn't look my way. I wanted to find this kid. One day I decided to write back. I found a scrap of paper and wrote, "You're not alone. Someone hears you." And I flushed it. 3 days later I found another letter. Who are you? I smiled. and I wrote again. The Forgotten Garage, a key to the past. I worked at a small car shop, just another mechanic in the crowd, but I had a secret, a hidden garage. It wasn't something anyone knew about, not even the owner. One day, while cleaning up, I found a crumpled note lying on the dusty floor. You know who I am. You know what this key is for. But you won't open the door. Are you afraid? The handwriting was unfamiliar, and I had no idea who would send something like this. But something urged me to check. I inserted the key into the lock, and the door creaked open. Inside, there were old photos, but not just any photos. These were of my old cars, the ones I hadn't thought about in years. They were taken at moments I couldn't remember. The garage wasn't just a storage space. It was a trap of forgotten memories. I stood there, stunned. The past had somehow been stored here, waiting for me to find it. But I knew what I had to do. I had to leave it behind. I closed the door, locking those memories away forever. The stranger on the train. It was a quiet Tuesday evening when I boarded the nearly empty train home. I picked my usual spot by the window. As the train hummed along, I noticed a man sitting across from me. His face was blank, eyes fixed on the window as if lost in thought. His old suitcase sat beside him, and his attire, sharp and formal, seemed odd for such a late hour. I tried to focus on the scenery outside, but every time I glanced up, I saw him staring at me. His eyes were unsettling, cold, almost as if calculating something. My stop was approaching, and I started gathering my things. Just as I stood to leave, he spoke softly. "You're not who you say you are you?" His voice sent a shiver down my spine. I froze. How did he know? I was about to ask him when the train halted, and in the blink of an eye, he was gone. I stepped off, heart pounding in my chest. What had just happened? Had I encountered someone who knew more than they should? The mysterious phone call. It was an average Wednesday afternoon when my phone rang. The number was unfamiliar, but I picked it up anyway. "Hello?" I said cautiously. A voice on the other end was soft, almost like a whisper. "I know what you did." My heart skipped a beat. I didn't recognize the voice, and I hadn't done anything wrong, so why would someone say that? "Who is this?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. There was a pause before the voice responded. "You'll find out soon enough." The line went dead. I stared at my phone in disbelief. My mind raced, trying to make sense of it. I had no idea who this person was or how they knew anything about me. The rest of the day felt off, like something was lurking just out of sight. I checked my phone every few minutes, expecting another call, but it never came. The silence was deafening. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me, waiting for me to make a mistake. The eerie phone call had left me with more questions than answers.